I think the struggle in every aspect of life for economic advancement, for better education and better resources for young people would be much harder if the voice of the Latino Policy Forum weren't there.
Being able to give voice, being able to articulate the challenges, the issues, the needs, the concerns, and the wants of the Latino community. And I won't say again we're the only group, but I will say we are the group with the reach of nearly 100 community organizations that can articulate what that is.
I think if the Latino Policy Forum did not exist today, it would mean significant losses for children. It truly goes down to that. It would mean losses in the realm of health and education.
I remember around 1980, Time magazine had a cover photograph, okay, of about 80 Latinos, 90 Latinos, prominent Latinos. They had little, smaller than postage-size photographs of Latinos around the country, right? And the title was, the 80s, the decade of Latinos. Well, that never happened.
So the Mayor's Advisory Council on Latino Affairs was the place where many Latinos went to find an echo for issues that needed to be uplifted because they were important for the quality of life of Latinos in the city. And having the opportunity of Mayor Washington gave us hope that now the issues that affect the Latino we're going to be taken seriously.
But he understood that he needed a very diverse constituents, a base out there to support him going forward. We needed somebody to have the smarts to do the research, to analyze, what the regulations, rules, laws were, trying to figure out what the important issues were to the growing Latino community, and then being able to put all of that into saleable context, if you will. So that was the important role that it played.
The genesis, really, of the organization was that for a number of years, this housing committee of MACLA had been negotiating with CHA, had been negotiating with HUD, and hadn't gotten anywhere, really. Any thought to trying to redress the issue of the lack of Latino presence in these housing programs, the lack of Latino presence on the waiting lists, couldn't be addressed because anything that was being proposed was being seen as a quota. The committee saw that really if we couldn't negotiate, if they were unwilling to move on the issue, that we would have to force them to. And the way to do that was through litigation.
Since day one, when we sued the Chicago Housing Authority, I took the initiative and convinced Latinos United that we had to meet with the Black leadership. And we met with the Black leadership and let them know that we were going to do this lawsuit and it was not against them. And when we settled, instead of having HUD or CHA take away from Blacks to give to Latinos, we asked for the federal government to create more.
By 2008, there was a pretty good consensus on the board of those of us who were Latinos United and our staff. There was a sense that we would continue to have an impact in policy as it pertains to housing, but that we needed to also address other key policy issues like early childhood, but that immigration would also be a really key factor. The challenge we're facing is how do we relatively quickly develop the capacity of a new and newly founded organization to address and to engage in all of these areas.
The need was probably as great as it ever was because, we had a growing Latino population, very little representation politically, no representation in the boardrooms.
A lot of conversations were focused on we need to make sure that this mission continues to survive and thrive.
We really had to make a case for reinvestment in this bold vision of what a Latino Policy Forum could look like.
After we created the new organization, I, as board chair, felt renewed with confidence, with energy, that we would be successful.
Well, I've always said that we're Latino Policy Forum, we are fierce Latino advocates, and I'm never going to apologize for that. Advancing the interest and what's good for the Latino community is no longer just good for the Latino community, but underpins, I would even say, is one of the vital economic engines of our city and our state.
I think she has helped take the organization to new levels of impact, new levels of engagement. We're taken seriously, and the voice of the forum has lots of integrity and power.
And the vision of the organization is that Latinos are integral part of the society. Calling it a forum was an invitation to the community to always participate in the agenda actively.
What makes me most hopeful for the Latino Policy Forum moving forward is our youth. Our sheer numbers is exciting and energetic.
The leadership of the Latino Policy Forum, staff, board, and community members that make up the acuerdos are truly inspirational.
In our latest strategic plan, we came up with this image. So much we moved from words to what's that visual image of a lighthouse. The foundation of the lighthouse are strategies of inform, influencing, and leading. The lighthouse are issue areas of education, housing, immigration, leadership. But what does a lighthouse do? A lighthouse is a way shower. It puts light on the darkness. It gives people a path of how to move forward. And that, I think, is a big part of what the Latino Policy Forum has done. We have our concrete victories, but people also look to us to say, here is how we understand who the Latino community is, and here is the way forward for the Latino community and for our shared future.